What is up, Maury Squad? It's your boy Remmorii, back with another video, and we just completed week 10. Let's go. Now we're in week 11, but let's get straight into it. Let's talk about what week 10 was about. Week 10 was about recovering a sense of self-protection. This week it reads, "This week we explore the perils that can ambush us on our creative path. Because creativity is a spiritual issue, many of the perils are spiritual perils." In the essays, tasks, and exercises this week, we search out the toxic patterns we cling to that block our creative flow. What a week it was. Crazy. A lot of things happened this week, but let's get straight into the check-in. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? This week was the first week, one of the first weeks. I think I've done it before, but one of the first weeks I only got 6 out of 7. I missed one day on October 3rd. I missed that Friday. I woke up and I wasn't feeling the greatest, and I had to leave the house immediately to go and get toothpaste. But when I came back, I didn't feel like writing morning pages and just one thing after another. And the night before, I know these all sound like excuses, but I'm very disappointed that I wasn't able to do it. But still got 6 out of 7, so that's okay. Has reading your pages changed your writing? That's funny. I haven't been rereading them that often. I didn't know that I was supposed to be doing that. But I did, for one of the tasks, I had to go back and I had to look at some honest changes in week 4. And I was just seeing how far I came, and it was pretty interesting. But I think I'm going to make a point to read a random morning pages entry every night before I go to sleep. I think that would be a good way to wind down, and I'll keep up that practice. So that's something that I want to implement. Still part of this first question check-in. Are you still allowing yourself to write them freely? Definitely. I guess obviously because I haven't been reading my pages, the ones that I've been writing, but I still have been writing the same way as if nothing has changed. Did you do your artist date this week? Let yourself do an extra one. What did you do? How did it feel? I did not do my artist date this week. There was a family emergency on the Sunday that I planned to do it, so I couldn't actually end up doing it. So this was one of the weeks where I didn't do it, and I did want to allow myself to have an extra one. And it's very interesting because I find that any time that I spend time with myself, it starts to feel like an artist date. So it's getting harder to come up with cool ideas or fun ideas for artist date because lately all the things that I do outside that feel extracurricular, everything feels like an artist date. So yeah, I did try to make a point yesterday to, despite not being able to do it, I know we're in a new week, but to read some comics that I had and just like light some candles and chill and read some comics, and that's what I ended up doing. But since it's within this week, I don't consider it as part of an artist date that I set out for last week. But this week I'm not gonna miss it. So I already planned out my week, and here's to a better week in week 11. Did I experience any synchronicity this week? What was it? That's a good question. Did I experience any synchronicity last week? One thing that I did notice was that the energy of who you're around and what you're focused on definitely affects and influences your mood. Like if somebody's feeling down, I find myself aligning with their energy and picking up on that energy. So I think of that as being in sync with other people. But in terms of being in sync with life, these questions specific to synchronicity are always challenging because I don't make a good point of writing them down when I have the opportunity to. And so this week has been a pretty tame week. Yeah, nothing's really coming to mind for synchronicity, and I feel like it's like that every week. But I am making a point, a conscious effort to start writing them down when they do come so that I have something to speak on, because it's pretty hard to remember those moments because they always feel small even though they are significant. So the last question is, were there any other issues this week that you consider significant for your recovery? Describe them. I think that this week was like a week leading up to my vacation, and there was a lot of work, and I feel like I didn't really create time to create, but there was moments where I had the opportunity to create, and I was locked in, I was filled in the moment, and it was really great. And I had the opportunity to just connect and just be and just play and have fun. And there's been a lot of realizations to the tasks that I've been doing last week, So I just feel like I was heading into a slump in week 10, and it's been pretty challenging to get out of it and practicing momentum and building out of it. Like, this was a tougher week because energetically I didn't feel all there, which is why I didn't do a 7 out of 7 week with morning pages and didn't have an opportunity to do artist state. It was kind of hard to think of something to do and actually enjoy it without it just feeling like another task. I have been making a point to start walking outside and spending more time outdoors, and that's something that I've been doing. But I think part of the challenge that I've been finding hard is understanding the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing in certain creative tasks. Like, sorry, let me say certain creative projects, because if I'm working on like my portfolio or something, and I'm not able to see the result or to see progress or momentum in that area, it becomes a lot harder to want to continue to working for it because it doesn't necessarily feel like fun or play. It feels like a necessity to get myself out of the situation that I'm in. So there's a lot of pressure on me to treat it as a lifeline rather than it to be an act of creativity. It doesn't always feel like that. And when I'm having fun with the creative project, it doesn't always feel like I'm on the right track. So it's hard to follow my joy in that specific task. So I have been thinking about looking into other ways to still get that creativity. Like, I've been so big on perfecting my copywriting portfolio, but lately I've been thinking about going into creative strategy. Like, is that the bridge between the two lanes that I'm in? And that's been something that's come up from just sitting in silence and doing my morning pages and getting insights from just writing and thoughts that come. And not that this is an issue, but I thought that this was an interesting thought. I was writing about it this morning about how to identify if it's just a simple thought coming to your mind out of nowhere or if it's a still small voice. And that's something that I've been trying to figure out throughout this recovery of like, how do I distinguish between this as an insightful direction, good orderly direction from source versus it being just a thought that's entering my mind that is sporadic and not thought out. So I think the clarity in that and the peace that I have behind the decisions that I make centered around those thoughts based off of the distinction of the two is an issue that I've been facing to try to understand in my recovery. How do I strengthen and deepen my relationship to source? So that's a thought that came up, and that's something that I've been trying to deal with and work throughout this process. But overall, that's been the week, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this process and to document it and to fully immerse myself into it. So thanks for watching. Thank you for likes, comments, and I thank for myself for making the effort to create this and do this and be here. So cheers. You guys have a great week.